order. In accordance with the earlier resolution of the House, business is now interrupted for... Business is now interrupted for the presentation of inaugural speeches. Before I call the member for Wollondilly, I remind the House that this is the member's maiden speech and would ask the House to extend to him the usual courtesies. It gives me great pleasure to call the member for Wollondilly.
Thank you, Mr Acting Speaker. I stand before you today by the grace of God, humbled by this magnificent place, humbled by the trust that's been placed upon me by the people of Wollondilly. And I'm honoured to have the opportunity to create real change for my community and the people of New South Wales. My journey to this place has not been an easy one, and my upbringing has taught me that one of the most important things is the notion of choice and the value of perseverance. The choices we make on a daily basis affect not only ourselves, but those around us. They shape our path through life as we change and evolve. The choices we make are what define us. I've always believed that one measure of a man is how persistent he is to achieve what he sets out to accomplish and the choices he makes to get there. I believe this sentiment to be of the utmost importance, especially in this place. We enter this place with the expectations of our own electorates and the expectations of New South Wales that we'll achieve what we set out to do. Perseverance to achieve our election promises for the betterment of my constituents is what drives me. My desire to serve the people began as a boy, being raised in public housing. I've experienced firsthand what many treat with mild neglect. Department of Housing residents deserve greater recognition in society, and I intend to make positive changes in this field. There is a great need within these communities for better services, better support and coordination from both state and federal government, as well as for governments to give opportunities, not just slogans and rhetoric. Most people within these communities are hard-working mums and dads who've fallen on hard times, as was the case with my parents. Whilst my childhood was enjoyable, nurtured by a loving mother and father, I had a number of setbacks. While aged 15, albeit only briefly, I was declared clinically dead. I had slipped into an anaphylactic shock followed by an adverse reaction to the medication used to treat me. Against the odds, and several months later, I recovered. Motivated by this, I made a choice to make the most of my second chance and pursue life to the fullest. Stories of sacrifice and examples of adversity can be found from one end of my electorate to the other. While the natural beauty and the various landmarks that reside within my electorate are the best in the world, so too are the people who reside here today. For it is those individuals who truly are the heart of Wollondilly electorate, and is them as a group who define it. Mr Acting Speaker, we have families like the Lynches and the Gilmartins from Silverdale and Warragamba, where many homes were decimated by the 2001 bushfires. These families and many others made a choice to defend their homes, in many instances rebuilding what they had lost, demonstrating incredible courage and resilience. In Teresa Park, we find Sarah Hilt. Whilst in her early years at university, Sarah went to bed one afternoon with a temperature and woke up from a coma, weeks later with her limbs removed after contracting meningococcal. Sarah had made a choice to give up her studies and become to give up her studies and become dependent on others, but she chose to persevere, finishing her studies with honours despite losing all fingers on both hands and losing both her legs. Sarah is now a motivational speaker and meningococcal awareness campaigner. She started the Sarah Hilt Foundation and is competing in the Parapan Pac Games later this year. Mr Acting Speaker, Rosemeadow and Ambervale are the home of the 3Ms, a place where 3 streets of Housing Commission connect. It is also the place that saw the riots feature on our TV screens. Many residents, however, chose not to be typecast by this, such as Uncle Ivan and Grandad Fu, 2 elders who were instrumental in the peacemaking and rebuilding process. Gentlemen in every sense of the word, who persevered to make their community a better place. Mr Acting Speaker, Picton, steeped in historic beauty, is the home to one of the most influential and determined women I'll ever meet. Glenda Graben, together with a band of local mums, including Doreen Gray, Angela Longbottom, Nicole Robinson, are an inspiration to us all. After their children were born with Down syndrome, they made a choice to fight every day to make a positive change in our society. From changing the name of the birth defect register to your endeavours to set up the first Down syndrome specific centre in Australia, you epitomise the word persistent, and I look forward working with you and everyone at the right start to achieve everything you set out to accomplish. Mr Acting Speaker, these local people and their stories, along with many others, inspire me each and every day, and together I'm confident we can do great things for our area. They are a testament to the fact that the choices we make on a daily basis affect the path our lives take, and that we present here in this place must not take anything for granted over the next 4 years. Mr Acting Speaker, there are similar tales throughout the entire electorate of Wollondilly, as it is a place as rich in spirit as it is rich in history. The town of Appin has just celebrated 200 years since settlement, one of only 5 to reach this great milestone. Menangle is home to Australia's first pastoral company, home in the MacArthur family Camden's Park estate, renowned for its groundbreaking agricultural practices for many decades, including the famous Rowell actor. Just as these towns have a proud history, so too does the seat of Wollondilly. The Honourable Sir George Fuller and the Honourable Tom Lewis, both former Conservative members for Wollondilly, ascended to the esteemed position of Premier, and these great representatives for Wollondilly have had a strong influence on the evolution of this state. Mr Acting Speaker, I wish to carry on their strong tradition of progress and conservation with a determination to achieve for the people of Wollondilly. I'll fight for the creation of the Rowell National Park. I'll fight to upgrade Campbelltown Hospital, which is located in my electorate. I'll fight for the widening of Narellan Road, the upgrade of rural roads and the delivery of vital infrastructure, including sewerage connection to rural towns, desperate to ease the burden of pump-out fees. Mr Acting Speaker, as the 14th member for Wollondilly, I'm honoured to stand before you tonight. But I take this opportunity to pay my respects to the 13th member, the Honourable Phil Costa. Tonight, I wish you well for your future and acknowledge your contribution. Mr Acting Speaker, I'm the product of a public education, starting my school years at Cartwright Public and finishing at Barrel High School. I'm a proud alumni of the University of Western Sydney MacArthur campus, which is also located in my electorate, graduating with a Bachelor of Laws. It was at this fine institution that I was first introduced to the practical workings of politics, later becoming the President of the Student Representative Council, where I instigated many programs such as free bus services and affordable food on campus. From here, my love of politics grew deeper, and I've since progressed to hold many Liberal Party positions, including my current place on the New South Wales State Executive. It is true that the Liberal Party is a party that rewards hard work, and my upbringing has taught me that with hard work and perseverance, anything is achievable. These sentiments were further developed during my years working for the Honourable Charlie Lynn, who took me across the Kokoda track. Walking to East Sharava Memorial, located in the highlands of Papua New Guinea, as the sheets of rain drenched me to the core, all I could think about was the sacrifice of those brave young men giving their lives, which allows me to stand before you today. I thank you, Charlie, and tonight I take this opportunity to salute our members of the Armed Forces. Mr Acting Speaker, my election to Campbelltown City Council allowed me the opportunity to make choices that affect the great people of Campbelltown. Here I was fortunate enough to meet the General Manager, Paul Tosey, and the Mayor, Paul Lake, and I thank them for their support and wisdom. I also take this opportunity to mention Les McMahon, the General Manager of Wollondilly Council, and Mayor Michael Banasic, and thank them for their help and wealth of local knowledge. My time on council has ensured I was able to see firsthand the positive changes that I could make as an elected representative, and where I developed a strong vision for our community. This vision is for Wollondilly thriving as a tourist destination, utilising the fantastic local attractions we have, including the redeveloped Trainworks Steam Train Museum in Thirlmere, Bargo's Wirrambera Wildlife Sanctuary, that's a mouthful, Marlborough Park Farm, the famous Warragamba Dam, one of 5 dams in my electorate that supply over 80% of Sydney's drinking water, to name but a few. Mr Acting Speaker, increased tourism will boost the local economy and help create more local jobs. Job creation is another big issue that affects people all over Wollondilly, from Bradbury to Bargo and from Wilton to Warragamba. There is a lack of local job opportunities as well as a skills shortage within the area. More than 70% of my constituents travel outside the area for work each and every day. Therefore, it is essential that we, as a government, invest to create not only local jobs, but develop productivity centres and business and technology parks in consultation with the local community to generate growth within the region. As I look around this chamber tonight, I see my good friend Chris Patterson, and the member who's also the member for Camden, and also Brian Doyle, the member for Campbelltown, who both share my vision for our region. Chris has worked tirelessly as the Mayor of Camden, and knowledge of the local area is second to none. He's become one of my closest friends over the years, and I'm glad to sit in this chamber with him. Their election to this place is a testament of their hard work, perseverance and dedication. Also, the federal member for Macarthur, my very good friend Russell Matheson, a proud local member. When Russell made the choice to run in the 2010 federal election, Macarthur gained an avid campaigner for job creation infrastructure for a green region and a dedicated local MP. Unfortunately, Federal Parliament is sitting tonight, but his wife Sharon and 2 daughters Alana and Jessica, who supported me, are here tonight. Finally, to my equally good friend, the Federal Member for Hume, and his wife Glo, for always encouraging me and strongly advocating for our local community. Mr Acting Speaker, from the beginning, we've made it very clear that we'll be a government that will govern for all of New South Wales. Already, we have seen alterations to planning laws, giving local planning decisions back to the community, and I commend the government on this decision. I'm very grateful to serve under our Premier, Barry O'Farrell, who shows a strong commitment for South Western Sydney. I thank you, Premier, and your ministers, together with my colleagues in both houses, for their assistance during the campaign. Your help and advice was invaluable. Mr Acting Speaker, Election Day on the 26th of March 2011 was one of the most rewarding, thrilling and exciting days of my life. It was a great day, and the community shared with me not just their frustrations with the previous government, but also their vision, hopes and dreams for the future. Mr Acting Speaker, many were voting Liberal for the first time, and they told me not to take them for granted like Labor had done for so many years. It was a great result and will go on to do great things, but great things cannot be achieved by one individual alone. They're achieved by great teams, and I'm most privileged to have the most talented and determined team working for me. You're all like family to me, and many of you being supporting me for well over a decade. I'll never forget the sacrifice and hard work that each and every one of you made to my campaign. The journey we took together will be etched in my memory forever, and I'm forever grateful. Mr Acting Speaker, at the risk of failing to mention someone, I'd like to thank those who greatly contributed to my campaign. Firstly, I must thank my campaign director, Michael Shaw. He's now my office manager. Well, Mike, what can I say about you? I see you as a great friend, confidant and brother. You put your life on hold for an entire 18 months to make this election win possible. I'd like to thank you in advance for putting your life on hold for the next 25 years so that together we can achieve so much more for our community. To my Deputy Campaign Director, Ben Banasic, your family may have forgotten what you look like, and hopefully your wife has now forgiven me for the fact that you weren't home. But we did it. You were always there for me, and I thank you for your support. To Jean Newton, my Treasurer, Mr Acting Speaker, I seek an extension of time.
The question is that the member's time be extended. All of that opinion, please say aye. Aye. To the contrary, no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it.
Thank you. To Jean Newton, my Treasurer, my former Conference President, I thank you for all that you do for me. You've supported me from day one, and I appreciate your counsel. And by the way, your sabbatical is now cancelled. To Jeff Gray, my Conference President, and his wife Janet, words too will never express the gratitude for all that you do. Jeff, you're like a brother to me, and I thank you for everything. To Councillor Paul Hawker and his wife Sigrid, we both started our tilt in public life together, and I'm proud to work with you at a local level for our community. To Lou Amato, you've stood solid as a true friend, and thank you for your belief in me. To Joel Matthews, who took all his annual leave to work night and day on the campaign, thank you for being a true friend through good and through bad. To Matthew Mason Cox, my former boss, good friend and now colleague, I thank you for the countless hours and sleepless nights you gave me to my campaign, ensuring its success. I appreciate your wise counsel helping me to settle into this great new place. Thanks must also go to the State Director, Mark Neame, and my good friend, the Deputy State Campaign Director, Richard Shields, Chris Stone, Lisa Marie Schell, Simon McGuinness, Jen Havilah, Jeremy Vine and all the staff at Secretariat. To the rest of my campaign team, I give you my heartfelt thanks and appreciation for everything you did. And tonight I acknowledge Michael and Anne Banasic for putting their lives on hold and assisting in every possible way to ensure that the job got done. To Sharon Hilton, the former Liberal candidate, and her husband John, who have supported me. To Brooke Hilton, and also to Tweezy Fapito and his extended family for his help and support. To my Auntie Dawn, assisting Mum with the lunch-making duties to feed a massive army of volunteers, together with Julie Percival, Anne Shaw and Beryl Shaw. To Paul Hilbrick, thank you for overseeing the polling booths. To Lenny Pedernos, who has been with me, helping me since we first met. Chairman of the Wollondilly National Party, Mr Alan Hay. Catherine Steinweiss, who constantly challenges my thoughts. Ashley Moss, with her can-do attitude. To Dr John Tu, Tanya Harris, Jared Hilliard, Scott Percival, Zaya Toma, Annie Grace, Reese White, Corey White, Lizzie Lambert, Brett McGrath, Jason Bajotti Zanotti, Bruno Marie Lopriado, Tony O'Toole, Debbie Stevens, David Gavin, Errol Gavin, Matt Gould, Laurie and Richard Harrison, Dean Jones, George Garace, Bill Garudis, Glenda Graben, Nicole Robinson, Diane Gray, Nathan, Sam, Sharon Bishop, Carl Klein, Tony Higgs, Anthony Spagnolo, John Corrigan, Phil, Sam, Ricardo Abisale, who I've worked with since our university days, Eric and June Heisey, my cousin Don Edmonds for your support, Paul Dengo, Clive and Lorraine Johnson, Anna Mervyn Yule, Barry, Tony Nadita, Greg McCabe, Karina Rolston, Alan Buxton, Deidre Darcy, Roger Golding, and to James Boland Rudder, the go-to man who was always happy to answer the 100 questions we asked him every day. And to my good mate and Aussie legend, Angry Anderson, who came out to campaign with me. Thank you. Mr Acting Speaker, I also thank the flying squads that came out and to the rest of the 200-plus army, and some of them are here tonight, that gave up their time to hand out on election day, scrutineer, organise booths, and make election day run like clockwork. Although I've already mentioned them, I'd like to thank my staff, Mike, Catherine, Ashley and Michael. You're doing a fantastic job and I'm so proud of what we are already achieving for our community. I'm proud of you all and know the great lengths that you go to each day in servicing our constituents. Special thanks must also go to my parents, Ted and Eve on Rowell. From an early age you instilled a strong sense that you can achieve anything as long as you put in the hard work. An attitude, Mr Speaker, which has greatly assisted me throughout my life. I remember my mum sitting down with me every afternoon after school, helping me with my homework, ensuring that I was given the best opportunity to succeed. To my dad and I have always enjoyed many a political conversation, and I recall these from an early age. Dad, you've always encouraged me politically, and for that I am forever grateful. My parents have always supported me in my political endeavours at every election, including the old days, painting bed sheets for university elections, then driving around in the middle of the night just to put them up. Thanks must go to my dad for travelling with me on election day and to Mum for organising the election night party with my sister Ebony. It was second to none and everyone in attendance was amazed at the quality of preparations that went into it, including the election posters and the election cake. Also thanks to my sister Ebony and her partner Ludwig, who have helped me through the campaign and also worked very hard. Sis, you continue to do me proud. I'd also like to give my heartfelt thanks to my in-laws, John and Annette Friskin. Your help and support meant more to me than you'll ever know. To my brothers-in-law, Daniel, Matthew and David, grandparents-in-law, Barbara Jolly and the Reverend Bob Friskin for all their love, support and friendship. Also to my uncle-in-law, Stephen Friskin, who handed out for me and had to change the colour of his political flavouring just to support me. Mr Acting Speaker, to paraphrase one of my favourite singers, Alan Jackson, the greatest contribution I'll ever make is the ones I'll leave behind. And with that in mind, I'd like to thank my beautiful wife and my two best friends, our amazing sons, Will and Menzies. Their inspiration, love and support are the reasons why I wake up every day and attempt to do them proud. My Mr Monkey, Will, aged almost 9, and my Mr Caterpillar, Menzies, aged 19 months, have shared in this journey with me. To Will, can I say that you're turning into a fine young man with wisdom beyond your years. I love you very much and know that you'll do great things. You continually amaze me and have taught me some of the most important things in my life. To Menzies, you're a great son and a very loving. Your daddy cuddles make me smile even at the end of a long drawn-out day. Your enthusiasm to do what the big people are doing is great to watch, and I know that you too will do great things. I love you. I look forward to being part of both your lives, watching you grow and doing the best job I ever have and ever will be given to be your dad. Everything I do will be to make this world a better place for you. To my loving wife Belinda, I'll never understand. You chose me, put up with me and support me. You are my rock and grow more beautiful each and every day. You're with no doubt the best mum in the world and the greatest wife that has ever been. You've taught me how to love, and if it were not for you, I would not be in this place. I share this victory with you. When we first got engaged, I remember we said that our goal was to grow old together, leaving great footprints in the world in which we live. This still remains our goal, and I love you so, so much. The people of Wollondilly will also benefit from you, as we both share a passion for our community and are determined to make it a better place. And finally, to the people of Wollondilly, thank you. Thank you for placing your trust in me. I will deliver. I will not let you down. I'm immensely aware of the expectations you have of me, and I'll always have my arms and door open to you. Together we can make a difference, and together we will make Wollondilly an even greater place to live. Thank you.
I congratulate the member for Wollondilly on his inaugural speech and welcome him to the class of 2011.
In advance, mate.
20.41, mate.
Listen, I was going to say to Sidoti. It's only 40 minutes, mate. Mate, you go as long as you go as long as you feel as though you need. You go for 40 minutes, all right?
I'll go to the Dunny. Please listen up. I wasn't well done, congratulations. It's over. That was a good one. Another good one.
Don't you relish that shit. You don't fight against it. I don't hear it. Thanks for the